Colin, do you feel bad for Tony Romo?
Yes, I do. I know he's a celebrity and I know he's rich, but the story of Tony Romo is a story that's told all across America all the time. You put in the time, you put in the hours, the company's not well run, the company doesn't have good management, then the company finally matures and you're a beaten down, broken down employee and everybody gets a cigar and you're the only one without it. And for 8 years, Tony Romo ran for his life. And they had two of the worst drafts in league history during his time. That's why he's beat up. And the team he finally has that could take him to the Super Bowl, and he's too beat up from carrying the company for 8 years when Jerry Jones was more petulant and immature. He finally gives Stephen Jones some power. Stephen Jones drafts linemen, and Tony doesn't get to celebrate.
I just can't go there in terms of turning this into a sad story or turning this into any kind of melancholy story. That was inspirational yesterday. I think that is going to, the way he's handled this situation, and Tony Romo saying Dak Prescott has earned the right to be the quarterback, I think that's going to define his legacy more than anything he did on the football field. I looked at what Tony Romo did, and I was like, that's why I love sports. That's why I'll never give up on sports culture. I wish the rest of American society was like sports culture.
Today we're like that. But LeBron James, to this day, gets criticized because he won't take the big shot because he shares, which is a great human quality. Tony Romo yesterday showed great human qualities. But in sports, he's a loser. No playoff games, not a winner.
Again, I think that was his legacy. His legacy now is, this is a man that's all man. I loved his comments about, look, this is a meritocracy, and this is Dak Prescott has earned this, and yes, it's tough for me. We just don't see enough of this in America. People standing up,
you and I agree with that, but people that go to games, winners, losers, playoffs, Super Bowls, I agree. I looked at Tony Romo, I was like, wow, what a grown-up. But I was arguing for 10 years LeBron was a grown-up because he didn't have to always take the shot. He was a good teammate. He passed. He gave it to his community. He didn't punch teammates. Jordan's better. As a human? Really? Everything he did yesterday shows me he's a grown-up. We don't reward that in sports. We do the day of. In a month, who cares about Tony?
No. I think as this thing evolves and we look back in the rearview mirror, I think everybody's going to celebrate this about Tony Romo. To me, this is like people that tried to beat up Brett Favre. And then at the end of his career, and he's the selfish guy. And then Brett Favre gives one of the greatest Hall of Fame speeches I've ever heard. And it reset the narrative and defined for people who Brett Favre was. Tony Romo, to me, yesterday, redefined his narrative and told people exactly who he was. One of the greatest competitors, one of the greatest teammates.
That is idealistic. I think you're being real. I think ideally, yes. But pragmatically, people are going to look at Tony Romo as, I couldn't win. If
dumb people.
Well,
I can't dumb down reality for dumb people.
If Dak Prescott wins a Super Bowl, Tony will be second tier. Sadly, not fairly, inappropriately, but he will be. That's how we judge quarterbacks. That's how we do it.
I think when it comes time to vote for Tony Romo in the Hall of Fame, this thing here will be part of it. He'll get into the Hall of Fame, and he will be, dude, this is one of the
rose-colored glasses.
No. He's the quarterback of America's team for nearly a decade.
And couldn't win playoff games.
And surrenders his job in tragic fashion. Dude, this to me is like, it's different than Brian Piccolo, Gale Sayers, but this story between Dak Prescott and Tony Romo is so uplifting.
But you're a columnist. You're a storyteller. The guy 7 beers in the upper deck cares about W's. He's not a storyteller. Very pragmatic. I love your humanity.